We have the wealth protection lawyer with us today to get into some of the nitty-gritty legal stuff that we need to know on how to protect your business and your legacy. Welcome to the show, Toni Moore. Great last name. Kicking off with that.
No relation.
Thrilled to have you here.
Thank you. Hello, everyone.
Toni, we really want to delve right into this, protecting your empire. So first and foremost, how do you protect your empire, especially for those who may be entering in as a new business owner or a new entrepreneur? How do you protect your empire?
Well, the first things first is always to have a business. I always tell people just have it, make it into an LLC. That way you can contain your assets within your business. So always don't necessarily think about a sole proprietorship. If you're not working with the boards, and don't think that you need a corporation. There are so many different ways that you can play around with the LLC and make the limited liability company work for you, even if you have to pay that extra sponsorship fee that's in California. It does not matter. I tell people all the time, you just understand and appreciate that the one and only thing that you need to do first out the gate is to protect your assets with a limited liability company.
Great advice. We love that. So, Toni, you've shifted your focus in the past 7 years to really work more with entrepreneurs. Can you tell us a little bit more about what inspired you to want to make that shift?
Absolutely. So, for the most part, I am a very nerdy Ivy League graduate, right? And as a very nerdy Ivy League graduate, I was like, oh, when I grow up, as you know, I'm going to work with rich people, and I'm going to do estate planning, and I'm going to hook up with Biff, and I'm going to marry an investment banker. That never really happened, but just being an idea for just being in the business, surrounding myself in the securities industry with lawyers and investment bankers and with insurers, I realized that there was a conversation that was being had 10 levels up that was not being had with regards to startup entrepreneurs, or what I call first generation legacy builders, such as myself. So when I had asked about that, like, hey, who's going to talk to them? They're like, it wasn't their brand, which really you're talking about assets under management, like $1 billion assets under management, and people are just getting started. That was not necessarily your brand. So I focus on that because that's my heart mission, is at the end of the day, if we were going to change the trajectory of our legacy, someone's got to teach strategies.
So good. So I want to shift focus just a tiny bit. So let's talk about estate planning, because I know that for a lot of people, myself included, that can be a little bit like daunting and nerve-wracking. So can you talk a little bit about what estate planning is for those of us that might not know about it, and why it's really so important?
Absolutely. So to me, estate planning is what I dropped it into, like empire building. This is your empire. This is your business. This is your home. Maybe you call yourself a king or a queen, and you have assets throughout the in between, right? So when you're creating an empire, digital business empire, hair empire, then you got to ask yourself, if something should happen to me with estate planning, what happens to my business? What happens to my show? What happens to my books? What happens to my copyright? Because if you do not put something in place, if you does not say, because the will, estate planning, estate planning is a power of attorney, estate planning is a healthcare directive. So you are stating on paper what happens. I promise you, if you do not state on paper what happens, if you don't have the final say as to who gets your house, who gets your car, who gets your dog, you know what I mean? Then you're going to have people left behind who are going to tell everybody what they think that they knew. Even that cousin Vinny, who you probably never spoke to, members, okay? They will literally just show up and tell the world what you said.
Truly, Toni, thank you so much for your wisdom today. This is so informative and helpful. And we are starting off this morning right, aren't we, ladies?
We are. We might have to have Toni back for some Q&A sometimes, yeah?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
Up next, we are at the table with Tommy, pulling up a seat and checking in. And later, we're talking skincare with the owner of Immunology. See you very soon.